Boom. All right, y'all. Here we go. It's been a few days. We back on it. Hopefully already. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Make sure you're at the end. You can catch all the other videos as well. Appreciate you. Today, we're talking about who goes first. Who goes first? Who goes first? I wondered, right? So this is a game from Katerina Alexandranova Lagno, right? It's actually Lagno with a G. I don't know why they got an H there, but I know it's with a G. But Katerina Lagno, maybe it's Lano. Katerina, she's famous. She's actually really strong, really strong. In fact, I think her husband now is Grishuk. I think they're a power couple when it comes to like chess. Like they super strong together, just strong, super high elo when they in the room together. But Wen Junju actually here. This was the women's championship, world women's championship. Let me get the hold up. Here it is. Yeah, it was the women's world championship, the knockout tournament in 2018. So okay, this is what we're looking at today. Right? Who goes first? Right now, we're gonna look at that. Right, we're not gonna get to the brain board yet, which of course you can get brain fuel right there in the chat, just like that. 300 biddies from Andrew CHS Dog Fan. Thanks, bro. So here's the game: E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6. I'm already a little hype here. By the way, we're trying to keep the videos like 20 minutes. Sometimes they go a little bit over, but we want to keep them 20 minutes or less so that we can get in and out, get the analysis, and you can watch them in a decent time. So after knight F3, knight C6, bishop to B5, which is the Rossolimo Sicilian. Very annoying, to be honest, for players that are playing with the black pieces, playing the Sicilian. Now, at this point, in fact, my most recent results in practice games with the Rossolimo have been very, very successful. Sometimes you have to study something so much and play it so much that after a while you just get used to it and you get better. That's just how chess is. Many and things outside of chess as well. I had a lot of problems with this. Now I look forward to it. My most recent game, I beat some 2670 something. It was really, really good, obviously. 2670 blitz. And I was able to win the game in the Rossolimo. My most recent ones have been very, very good because I've been following the studies. But after bishop to b5, she goes with g6. And I was very impressed by this because this is the Magnus way of playing the Rossolimo. You actually have ways like e6, a6, right? You even have, I think knight a5 is a way to do it. You know, you could play d6, right? But, you know, and d6 does avoid this, but now you're in a whole nother sea of theory where a lot of times you hold the d pawn. You may need to hold the d pawn to play d5 later. So playing d6 is very committal, and you actually have to go for knight or dragon in this way. But after bishop to b5, g6, castles, bishop g7, literally going the Magnus way of playing the Rossolimo. Why do I call it the Magnus way? Well, he played this against Fabiano in 2018 with the black pieces and was successful. And well, successful, I mean, they drew all the games, right? All the games, all 12 games were drawn. But it was successful. This is what he used, bishop g7. Rook e1, e5 is a way of playing. Very nice, especially if they haven't captured. If they do, you take with the d pawn here, and d4 is a clamp. You play b6, knight e7, or knight f6 sometimes, and knight h5. That's what the engine likes. You play knight f4. Castles, put the bishop on e6, rook to e8. Or you can play, where's the other one? Knight f6, castles, b6, because the bishop usually comes to e3. After a3, they play a5. It's all about ideas, right? You want to know where the ideas are. So a5, we got knight f6, castling, bringing the rook to e8. The reason for that is we're going to bring the knight to d7 to f8 and bring it to e6 to clamp on d4, because that's where the clamp is, right? The bishop also can go to g4. You put the queen on d6 and rook to d8. So you have this file problem the entire time, right? Of course, I can draw more arrows here. Shout out to Hikaru. I did graduate from the school of Hikaru. So, you know, with that being said here, right, this could easily be a position that they go for, or Katerina goes for. She chose the a3 option. You could play a5. She played knight g to e7. I'm a big fan of it. There is a line where they go b4 right now. That is a scary one. That's a scary one. And it is a pawn sacrifice with a lot of compensation, believe it or not. In fact, Magnus doesn't even take it. Magnus, knowing from the theory, he plays d6. I'm not taking that because there's just so much. Now, of course, we'll look at that another day so we can focus on today's game. But after knight to c3, now castles. Now here is black. We literally have no troubles. A lot of times, bishop takes c6, damage the structure. Now it doesn't. We can play knight takes c6, put the knight back on d4, d6, like we're good. So actually, white is already, I would say, a little worse. And we haven't even done anything. But bishop to c4, d6, right? In this type of situation, you're going to play h6 and bishop e6. Yes, it does double the pawns. but we have a clamp on the d5 square after h6, stopping the knight from coming into g5 if you play bishop e6 at the right moment. d3, h6, played right here, stopping knight g5. Knight d5, and then here's the move, king h7, pretty cool, tucking the king, tuck and roll here. And then you play f5, you put the rook here, right, and you try to attack them. Pretty cool system here. Pretty cool system. Okay, c3 happens, and then black plays f5. And now here we go. Takes, and now it's on you, chat. b4 happened. So now let's look at some moves. What would you play in this position? Black to move. What's up, A1 Chemist? What's good? It's black to move. What you gonna do now? b4 on the board. How do you respond? It's like 20 moves left. Take the b pawn, okay. Here's Chimpanzee wants to just take it. a5, YOLO. a5, YOLO. a6, b6 from Saga Sin. Knight g6 from Red Hot Mama. Bishop e6. e4. Here's the move. The move is actually knight g6. E4 was just too premature right now. I mean, it's literally premature. Garbage. Disgusting. You will be in a lot of trouble. You will be in a lot of trouble immediately. The reason being is you're just opening up the house like this. I mean, I could do rook takes e4 and I'm going to stare at you real hard. Bruh. Real hard stare. You're looking crazy out here. You're looking crazy. All the squares is weak. Everything weak. Everything weak. E4 is not a move. A lot of times c takes b4, why you don't want to do this is they have a thing called keeping the tension, which means before you capture, you should ask, is it better for me or is it better for them? If you say that it's better for them or you have more pros and cons for them than you don't need to take this. Keeping the tension makes a lot of sense. We want them to take so we can open up the d file. So this wouldn't be a good. b6, okay, could be a move. We can maybe put the bishop on b7, but it's best on this diagonal, especially if we can get an f4 off and get the bishop active by g4 or h3. Yeah, but knight g6 is best. Knight g6 is a move I'm actually familiar with a lot too as well. And you bring the rook here, King's Indian style. But you got to worry about this bishop on this diagonal. Okay, knight g6, b5 happens. We go knight a5, bishop a2, we develop. Queen a4, and then b6, she defends the knight. And then bishop d2, we get all the pieces off the back rank. All right, cool. Everything seems to be settled. We seem kind of strange here. If you flip the board, right, let's flip it. Look at it from White's point of view. You might feel like, oh, you know, I got something going. Maybe we try to get this up. Maybe we try to get something going here, right? And etc. You got to be careful because if you open up, your king is very, very, very weak. But okay, black to move, chat. What do you do about this? Is there a stare real hard emote? We don't have one yet. Need to get one. One day, what's up? Why not a5? Because b5. b5, serious business, and you got to go knight b8. You probably could have played a5, but it's almost the same as like playing b6, which is playable. C takes b4 was playable as well. Rook e8 from Tyrus Rocks. Knight h4. a5. Was a monk or nobody says. That's okay, serious business. You know, you can play whatever move you want, but if you stay at the rating that you stay at for eternity, for forever and ever and ever, you know, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You can do it. You can do that. You can. I'm slowly climbing. Okay. Right. Emphasis on slowly. I got to go to class tonight at St. Louis Chess Club, and it was taught by Linderman. Oh, that's my guy. Yeah. Shout out to Linderman. Big facts. Shout out to. I actually need to hit him up. Actually. Bishop d2. And after bishop d2, let me see. Anybody get it yet? There it is. Cacophonic. Got it. Has right here. Rook g8. Rook g8 is it. Any merit to c4 blunt the bishop? No. Well, c4 actually just hangs a pawn. It kind of blunts the bishop, but it does hang the pawn. But I mean, you could probably. Greeting from Central Ohio. What up, David J in the building? Central Ohio. What up? What up? Rook g8. Yeah, you play rook g8. Or she. Sorry, not he. You know, usually we looking at dudes' games all the time. There's Katarina Lagno and Wenjun Ju or Ju Wenjun, Women's World Championship knockout in 2018. So rook to g8. Rook to g8 putting pressure here. I literally had this same type of plan in one of my training accounts. I mean, literally, was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But I just had this same kind of plan. So me seeing this is like, wow, this is so cool. Like I was doing the right thing. It's reassurance that you played it correctly. So, you know, it made me feel good about the Rossolimo game that I did go on to win that game. But Rook G8, very nice. It's a very difficult, right? We're putting some pressure on the G file. Data analytics, nice. I'm curious about F4 too. F4 probably is a move, actually. It probably will be a move. F4 is always a way that you can push forward, which I did before too as well. It also opens the bishop up. Rook G8 first though. After Rook G8, there was Rook A to D1 and then Queen D7, get the queen off the back rank. Knight H4, right? Knight H4 looks ridiculous. It looks like you're just hanging a piece. All right, it looks like you're just hanging a piece right now. But the queen on the other side of the board have board vision. Look at the whole board. The whole board. That's what Bobby Fischer says. Bobby Fischer says we failed to look at the entire board. So you have to look at the whole board. You're like, oh, knight's hanging, and you just immediately take the knight. Which you could, but that's probably not best, especially with the queen lined up on H6 already. This being a weak pawn, knight F6 could also be a move. I mean, imagine this, right? And then you like, oh, let me move the rook. Let me play C4 now. And then you're looking crazy after knight F6. You can resign right now. Get the man off the board. And then queen takes. And F4 is idea, correct. Now F4 would be a great idea. But knight takes H4 again. To take is a mistake, is one thing they say. Or keep the tension. Do I have to take right now? Is it necessary for me to take right now? You can, but there is another move, better moves. In fact, black to move. What would you do, guys? What are we doing, chat? F4 from Curious Chimpanzee. F4 from Blundered Hope. Rook A to F8 from Poker Chess. Knight F4. Queen F7. Always look for a better move, says Death by Lactose. Another one for F4. Man, F4 is like unanimous out here, boy. F4. You know what? F4. I love it. I love it. F4, man. F4 is 100% garbage. Get them. What are you doing? Look at this again. You lost. Get him out of here. You're done for. This is a wrap. I'm going to show you right now. Knight takes G6. So I'm taking your piece. Right? You're going to take your piece back, right? You should. You absolutely should take your piece back. Right? If you play king takes G6, okay, I'm going to play knight takes F4. Oh my goodness. This is a family channel, right? Because I'm hitting this. Check. And then the bishop, you forgot about him, the sniper on the other side of the board. We got actually a video coming up for that. Snipers, right? This is a sniper, bro. On the roof. You forgot all about him. And then snap, and then bam. Hit him. And then stare at him real hard. Bruh. That's over, bro. This is over. All because you wanted to play your little F4. Your little F4. Okay. Garbage. Wanted to play F4. Yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Knight H4. Bishop H8 is the move. Bishop H8. We don't care about none of this F4 stuff yet. It's not the right timing. So Bishop H8. What a move, right? Like, what a move. Play Bishop H8. But it opens up the rook file. Yeah, nobody was guessing this one. I just wanted to see. All right, Bishop H8 to double. Correct, Red Hot Mama. And double as well. Bishop H8, knight takes G6, rook takes, queen H4. All right, chat, it's on you. Queen H4. Bishop X E6, 4. Both was winning. Don't cry, Wolf. In fact, both was winning. It didn't even matter. It's the fact that you got there is the problem. Don't cry, Wolf. But they got there. A1 Kimmy says double rooks. Curious Chimpanzee. Nice. Got a new bits badge there. It's nice. Rook A to G8. Rook G8. Rook A to G. You know what? I love it. I love it. Rook A to G8 is correct. Great job, chat. It is correct. Rook A to G8. And then G3. G3. What would you do next? Why not Queen G7? And Queen G7 probably is a move here, but it's not. It's about timing. Probably you want the queen to be free, because right here, then he goes G3. I mean, maybe you could probably do this. Queen G7 is probably a move. Rook G8 is more accurate. The reason being, here's one thing you haven't done, right? Queen G7, you're playing with all your pieces. Maybe not this one so much, but you didn't even think about this one yet. So a lot of times in chess, you have to ask, hey, what is my worst piece? What piece haven't I moved yet? Which is this one. I mean, it's not even in the game. So here, it just makes sense, principally, to put this bishop here. In fact, actually, let me turn the engine on. I remember engine says right here, move number 1 is not even bringing the rook or the queen here. Engine likes bishop g7. Nobody in their right mind is playing bishop to g7 right here. Nobody's doing this. Engine, okay, all right, yeah, engine for sure, but nobody's playing bishop g7. They also have rook e8 as a move, which is strange when you can double the rooks. Rook to g8, free move, free move. g3 happens, black goes right here. Yeah, b5 is hanging, but this is a pawn you, I mean, maybe you could take it. No, there's knight e7, like, yeah, don't even play around. But then bishop f6, strange. Maybe you could take this, but you gotta be very careful. Very, very careful. Queen f7 was the move, in fact. Queen f7. c4. And this move was very difficult to make. It's a very difficult kind of move to make. Here, I'm very surprised at the move. I'm not even going to lie. I'm very surprised at the move. But it makes total sense. It really does. I think, yeah, it makes sense. And I'm going to explain it here. Is black to move, though? What would you do in this position? It is black to move, and I'm going to explain it. And it's kind of strange, but then after calculation, it makes sense. It makes sense. What would you do now? Black to move. Rook g4. Now I'm going f4. f4 from cool out. Bishop takes d4. Meaning d5. Bishop f6. From my strander. Bishop x knight. King g7. Wait, bishop f6. Bishop takes d5. So you guys are right. In fact, bishop takes d5 is one of the moves, followed by bishop f6. I like this line better because I get to keep the bishop. But what she did was bishop f6, right? She did bishop f6. And here's the difference. If bishop takes d5, right, here's the problem. This bishop is blocked in for like life, all right? Unless I push one of these, this bishop's always going to be gross. And I mean, you could take here, but like, you know, it's going to take a while for this to happen. And then bring the rook, and then play b6, and then let take, and then you got to double. Like, that's like 17 moves, it feels like. You're not going to survive that from a kingside attack. So you're not really realistically thinking about that. Plus, the bishop is really strong going bishop f6 right now. But what she went for was bishop f6 immediately. So now after knight takes, rook takes f6. But yeah, this is a little different. I keep the light square bishop. Light squares are actually weak, right? Which makes a lot of sense. Because if I'm going to play f4, this bishop is going to be needed in a lot of light square strategy problems, as this one is dead over here, right? This is deep work. Think about that, right? Deep work, you know, deep calculation and strategy. Also, f4 does work, but it's the longer version of it. f4 is actually a engine move. The engine did like f4, but she played bishop f6, and after knight takes f6, rook takes now chat f4. Psych, because it's by white. White plays f4. Got him. Bruh. Everybody laughing in the chat. Everybody like, what happened? What happened, bro? What happened? I wanted to play f4. Well, now rook g4. Queen h3. And here's the crucial part. Here's the crucial part of today. We didn't even get to the brain board because we're about to get to it right now. Remember, who goes first? Who goes first? Let's think about this. As black to move, what would you do in this position? Who goes first, right? And what we mean by this is the file. We know this file is ours. The G file is looking like ours for real. But we need to figure out how to arrange our pieces correctly so that we can have, you know, take the file forever. So what does that look like, chat? What do you think? Then we're going to look at the brain board and then finish the game. Garbage, right. What is the move here? Rook f to g6 from my strander. And what is the follow-up if you're going to play that? Double up again. I see queen b7, e4 for the score. I see queen g7, e4, or double up. Right, who goes first? So what you don't want to do here, in fact, is queen to g6. This will be 100% fatal error and disgusting. You don't want to play queen to g6 and then try to bring the rook around this way, because the queen is kind of sandwiched in. It's kind of sandwiched in, right? Like, let's make some moves here. The queen is kind of sandwiched in, like you don't want this in between the rooks. In fact, right? Who's familiar with the term of what they call what we're trying to set up here? Well, let's go to the brain board. We'll talk about that right now. Which goes first, the queen or the rook? You should weigh the benefits of both, but generally it is best to set up for Alekhine's gun, Alekhine for us in America, Alekhine's gun if possible. Right. Okay. By the way, brainfuel.com, Canty 15% off. Sheesh. Okay, so back to it. Right. Rook F to G6. Rook F to G6. Alekhine's right. Alekhine, exactly. You know how they say Alekhine here. And you be hearing GMs say that too. Oh, Alekhine. Alekhine. It'd be GMs. Rook F to G6, right? And then Rook F1, and now we have Alekhine's gun. Right? Alekhine's gun. That's what they called it here. Alekhine. Oh my goodness. They just always do this to his name. Now he's Kanye. This is a heavy lesson. I'm just a beginner. Again, hey man, there's a lot of videos in this playlist. We almost at 70. This is probably like number 66 or 67. You can go through all the other videos and just watch them one by one. Just watch them. What about the knight on a5? The knight on a5 is 100% trash. Garbage. Disgusting, right? But we can get it back into the game eventually. Right, white played king to h1 because rook takes g3 is for real. It's for real. So she stepped out the way. She said none of those. But now, all right, chat, black to move. Yeah, 70 videos in just this one playlist, right? Then we got other playlists on openings and other stuff and tournaments we analyzed. Right, so always check the playlist on the YouTube channel. Appreciate it. Hit the sub button when you get there. It's free. Black to move. Black to move, chat. Stick around and still be learning. Trust. That's right, brothers. Black to move. Black to move, chat. What do we do? Take the G pawn. Okay. Bishop C8. YOLO. Rook takes G3. E4. Queen F7. Shuffle. Shuffle. He said shuggle. Autocorrect. E4. Rook G3. E takes F4. E4. Do you have sponsors that you sign and YouTube? Sometimes quitters, yes. Queen B7, okay. In fact, number one, actually, Paul Shark, it is correct. Rook takes G3 is the best move. This is the best move, and this is how the line would go. Queen H5, then you go Queen B7. That's kind of nuts. She didn't do this because you have to see all of this, obviously. Like, it's just not the easiest to just sack this and be wrong, right? But she actually played Bishop C8, which is move number 2, which is with the idea of just checking. Almost a decisive check. Look at the bishop out of the game. Bishop C8, Queen H5. So we go check. King G1. What's the next move, chat? What's the next move? Hurry up. Hurry up. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. What's the move? What's the move? What's the move? Sack. Sack. Rook takes G3. Hit him. Split him. Rook takes G3. Sack. There we go. Rook takes. Rook takes. That's it. Rook takes G3. Hit him. Bruh. Let's go, right? Rook takes G3. Then pawn takes, splitting. Bruh. Right? Hit him again. And King F2. And what's the next move, chat? Didn't load this gun for nothing, says Red Hot Mama. That's a very good observation. Didn't load the Alekhine's gun for nothing. We didn't load it for nothing. What do you do? Chat, and you better be right. Rook G2, unanimous. Love it. And after Rook G2, Katerina resigned. That was it. GG started a new game. Game over. Here's the reason, right? If King E1, right, easy one. Queen G3, boom. Hit him, splitting, right? Queen takes F2, start a new one. Right, so if King E3, okay, you have Queen G3, which is a beautiful move. Blocking with the Rook, or the Queen, doesn't matter. Rook takes, Rook F3, and then you have E takes F4, and that's mates. Oh my goodness. Jeez. It's a family channel, right? Made it. Ooh, sheesh. So it happened that way. But all of this happened right here. This is like a crucial moment where she was like, which goes first, right? Where I could take this way. She went rook g4, but a lot of you would maybe play rook g6 and then put the queen on g7, not realizing when you sack, you're actually going to have to give your queen up too. You don't lead really with the queen. The queen wants to be behind both the rooks. So after rook to g4, rook g6, queen g7, she set up for the gun. Ammunition loaded, right? She came with the little, you know, the homie from the side here, hitting, and then we shoot, right? Don't miss. And GG. Rook g2 was actually resignation, but this was it. Hopefully you guys learned about, you know, who goes first, right? It's really about how you set up the Alekhine's gun there. A lot of times here, again, back to the brain forward, which goes first, queen or rook. You should weigh the benefits of both, but generally it is best to set up the Alekhine's gun if possible. Right. Hope you guys enjoyed it today. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. I'm going to see you guys on the next video.